Well, welcome to the first Friday video of 2024. This is John Miller. And as we look ahead to this year, I'm sure there can be some insecurity and uncertainty in many of our hearts as we look at such instability in this world. And it can cause the heart to flutter. So I want to share with you some insight into how to handle this year. There is an interesting verse in Philippians chapter 4 and verse 2, which goes like this. I know what it is, Paul is speaking, I know what it is to be in need, and I know what it is to have plenty. I have learned the secret of being content in any and every situation, whether well-fed or hungry, whether living in plenty or want. Of course, he said that in a jail, in a prison, and he had learned the secret of contentment. And so what is that secret? Well, I think among other things, there are a couple of answers that I come up with. And as we look at this year, we need to grasp and experience that contentment that God has available for all of us. And so I think there are at least two or three enemies of peace and contentment. And let me suggest what I think they are. Because these enemies rob us of making the most out of every day of our life. And of course, one has to do with the past and how we can be enslaved to the past in our thinking. And that can rob us of peace and contentment. In other words, the coulda, shouldas, the mistakes, the sins, the memories that are negative can all do that. And so when I think of driving on the road of life and always looking at the rearview mirror, being fixated on the rearview mirror. In other words, what happened back then, back when. And it can just cause us defeat, guilt, regret, shame, all of that. And as you know, if you are fixated on the rearview mirror, a couple of things are true. One is it's dangerous because you're supposed to be driving with alertness as to what is around you and in front of you. And continue to look at the rearview mirror can be very problematic. The second reason is that you can't enjoy the moment of what's around you and the scenery as to where you are right now in life, and drinking it in, embracing it, and enjoying the blessings of God in the moment of the day. So I think that's one robber. I know that in Philippians 3:13, Paul said, brothers and sisters, I do not consider myself as having taken hold of it. I think he's talking about a deeper knowledge and relationship with Jesus, because he wanted to know him deeply. And he hadn't experienced that in fullness, but he wanted to. But he did say this, one thing I do, forgetting what is behind and straining forward to what is ahead. And so this idea of and he had reasons to forget. He had persecuted Christians and actually enjoyed watching them being persecuted, even put to death in the case of Stephen, the first martyr of the Christian church. So he says, I'm forgetting. We learn from the past, but we don't live there. We learn from the past in terms of mistakes and things to do right things not to do again, but we don't live in the past. A second theft of present contentment and peace has to do with fixating on the future and worrying, being anxious about what is around the corner for us. And so that can rob us of peace in the present. It can take away our sense of contentment because we're always concerned about not having enough of this, or what if this happens, or what if I get this, or what. I mean, we can go on and on worrying about that which has not happened yet. So I think that fits into Matthew 6:34 when Jesus said, therefore, do not be anxious about tomorrow. Tomorrow has enough concern of its own. As one translation says, therefore, do not be anxious about tomorrow, for tomorrow will be anxious for itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. And so Jesus is saying, I don't want you to worry about tomorrow, to think about the what if monster out there. I'm going to give you enough for today, one day at a time. I will be with you and I will walk with you through this day. And whatever this day holds for you, I will be with you. And there's a promise there. But I think that the Lord is saying, but if you're going to bring tomorrow into today, I'm not going to be there for you. I'm going to be with you in the moment. So if you're going to worry about that which hasn't happened yet, you're just causing yourself all kinds of trouble. Because, yeah, there will be challenges there, but when we get to it, I'll be there. Doesn't mean we don't plan for the future and think ahead, but it does mean we don't live in the past, live in the future. We embrace the moment that God has given to us today, and I think that's part of the secret of contentment. So anyway, I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and God bless you all. Bye.